everybody. Glad to see you back. And welcome to anyone who's brand new. I appreciate you taking a chance on us. Typically, every week I put a question of the week out in our community tab. It could be anything from, can you suggest some places that I should go and explore? What are some English or British words you want an American to say and you want to hear them learn how to pronounce or teach them how to pronounce in most cases? English comedies or English moments in time that you'd like me to react to live, things like that. But this week we didn't really get to discuss the question of the week because we did an open Q&A instead, to just have a back and forth with the community members so they can ask me all kinds of questions. But there were a lot of people that did respond to the question of the week last week, and I didn't want it to go unacknowledged. So that's what we're going to do today. The question of the week last week was, what are some things about America or Americans that you like, appreciate, and admire? We kind of get a bad rap here in England. Y'all have a lot of opinions about us. Hopefully you guys were able to find some things in a positive light as well. Let's find out. So the first comment comes from Dave W4998. Drive, enthusiasm, standing up for democracy, and individuality. That's interesting. Drive is definitely something I think Americans have. We are pretty much bred to want to always climb the ladder and pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and do better than our previous generations. We always have it instilled in us, even at a young age, to be some type of success. They always want to get a second degree or a third degree, or they always want to climb the ladder, right? So I do agree there is a good strong will to push through and try to always learn and better yourself. I do like that about Americans as well. So I agree with that one. Enthusiasm. We tend to be very positive and very passionate, as I'm sure is translated over to England and many other cultures. You guys see us that way, see us at least as passionate, whether it be in a positive or a negative perspective. I would agree with the enthusiasm part. Standing up for democracy, that's kind of a controversial statement because it can be seen, I think, a little bit as us pushing our way of life on people, and that is not always lovely. But in the grand scheme of things, I mean, we do try to adhere to our ideals and try to help others, gain their rights and things like that. So I guess I could see that. Individuality is definitely a big thing in American culture. I don't know anybody that could deny that. We are all about, bettering ourselves, and there isn't a very strong sense of community like there is here in England. I actually see that as a negative for me personally, just my point of view, nothing against you, Dave, but I personally see that I like the sense of community that I have here in England a lot better. We are very, very much individually driven, so I totally see that. Next one is from Linda Riley 4455, and they say, I like their positivity, openness, and kindness. Oh, that's sweet. Earlier, we are a very optimistic culture. Glass is half full, that we can achieve things, that we can find a way, we can find a solution. Yeah, that's a very American thing. Actually, that's something I miss about living here in England. It's a much different culture. People just have an expectation that things are going to go wrong and be bad here. And I do kind of miss that collective optimism that we have in America. Openness. That's a double-edged sword. Sometimes openness can be a good thing, but sometimes it can be too much. I do feel like we share too much too soon, especially. I do agree. We can be a more open culture. And kindness. I think English people have been pretty kind, for me personally, in my experience anyway. I have not experienced anything else. So I think kindness is a trait that we can share. The next one is HughTube5154. That's cute. I like that handle. Positivity, optimism, and energy. Yeah, so we spoke about the positivity, we spoke about the optimism, and the energy. I think that kind of comes under the heading of drive. We do have a lot of energy, but we also drink a lot of coffee. I know you guys drink a lot of tea, and there's tons of caffeine in tea, but I think there's more caffeine in tea than a lot of the regular coffees anyway that we drink in America. We're just always on the go. That's just the culture in America. Some of it would be drive, some of it's just energy, and some of it is necessity, to be honest with you. Overall, I hope a positive energy. Based on your comment, I'm going to say it's a positive energy. So I appreciate that. Next is an anonymous user handle. They say, as soon as America elevated the greenback to a god-like status, across all the different aspects of life, from business to politics, America went downhill in my eyes. I think you're probably referring to like the love of money and like the consumer side of it, probably. That's how I'm going to take your comment. And if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments below, and I will respond and correct myself by all means. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to take it that way. I can't really disagree with you on that. We have a capitalist society, and we are very, very focused on money. It is involved in every aspect of our lives as Americans, in one way or another, either by choice or by design. And I do think that the financial responsibilities and burdens have definitely weighed America in a lot of ways, especially Americans, everyday Americans. A little bit of a heavier burden that I think they should bear. But an interesting perspective. I could talk more about that, but I don't want to bore all of you. At MollyCat5361 says, your optimism and your friendliness, kind of echoing a couple of the previous comments, but I agree. Yeah, we are, as I said earlier, the American culture on a whole is much more, we can do this, we can get through, we can figure it out, we can find a way, we will prevail. And I think a lot of it comes from the fact that we were, basically subjects that were able to gain our independence from the greatest army in the world, the greatest navy in the world at the time. I think that kind of pompous arrogance and confidence just is part of the culture. So I think that's why we have a lot of optimism that we can kind of prevail. And I do think we are friendly. Some of it can be a little bit fake, but I do think overall we're a lot friendlier. Like in America, I would say hello to someone on the street if they were a stranger, if I was seeing them in the path or in a sidewalk or something like that. And I struck up conversations with strangers, in line or in queue at the store. You don't really do that here. So I can see where that aspect comes from. It's really, it's handled really HX7RL. That's good. I like that. Really says, I swear I just saw some tumbleweed. I think it's probably a joke. I'm not really sure what you're saying, but I do think you're funny and I like your handle a lot. Or maybe it's that you can't, I bet it is. See, this is me, I'm a late bloomer. Are you saying you can't really think of anything that America or Americans are positive, that you can say positively about us? That's probably what you're saying. Appreciate it, thanks. Not even this channel. Just a little bit of Americanism in there, just in case you haven't noticed. Oh, please, I apologize in advance if I butcher this handle. I'm gonna do my best though. And Anthony Delaware, Anthony DE. I think that's what it is. Says the original Ford Mustang, 100,000%. Freaking love that car. I don't care about cars at all, and I like nice, can notice that that's a nice car and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm not one of those people who's like, ooh, a Bentley or a Ferrari. Like, I really don't give a crap. And I've always said if I did have any kind of money, that if I did spend money on a car, it would be something like that, like a classic American kind of road tripping top down kind of car, because that's just, to me, that's my style. And Ford Mustang, 1000% up there. I would definitely spend money on that. But Anthony also says, my family over there, naturally, and I hope your family's all doing well and they're safe. Goes on to say, the general positivity, yes, 1000%. Pretzel flips. Pretzel flips are like a snack, a pretzel, a little snack pretzel. It has either white chocolate or milk chocolate covered on it, and it usually has like sprinkles or something on it. They are really, really good. NASA, 1000%, one of the greatest things that America did. I'm very proud of that. I was really excited when I got to go visit NASA. I really, really enjoyed it. And it's really, really eye-opening to what people can do, when the ingenuity of people and the drive, as someone else mentioned earlier, when you really put your mind to it, what we can achieve, and when we have government funds and government backing to do it, what we can achieve, not just as Americans, but just as people and as humans in general. It is amazing. Family Guy. I really do like Family Guy, and of course it was the origin, but I have to say I like American Dad a little bit better. I just think it's a little more clever, and I'm obsessed with Roger. I think he's one of the best cartoon characters of all time. Just my opinion, don't hate, but I do love him. I think he's really funny. Also goes on to say, I'm sure some smart arse will point out how some of those things have international origin, but that's the story of the US all over. 100% you have that. Someone is going to say something, probably more than one person. America itself has international origin, so of course there's always going to be an international influence on everything that we do. And NASA in general, right, you know, part of it was the space race and trying to get into space and on the moon before the Russians did, because of Sputnik and everything. So totally understand that perspective, but I'm still going to take the win. Next up, Piper Charms says, the Americans I've met have always been friendly and quite sweet personalities. Aww. Yay, Piper. You're always sweet as well, and I have to admit, so. Some political opinions incoming in. It's kind of a long thing, so I'm gonna actually do that on a separate video. The politics between England and America over the years, and especially recently, it's been a little bit crazy. But that's for another video as well. Tudor Miller says, the MLB and the NHL, I love it. I did hear that there is, like, they're trying to promote the NHL here. I know they've been doing it with the National Football League, which is the American football, and they've done it with the MLB, which is the Major League Baseball. But I've also heard they're going to try to do it with the NHL, which I'm very excited about. I grew up watching baseball. My dad was a huge baseball fan. So yeah, I get the MLB, definitely. And go Yankees, always. Sorry, but that's the truth. They're the best. And the NHL, go Rangers. Denim jeans, although the French made them first, apparently. I think we have an artistic perfection to them. So I'll go with that, definitely. You're funny though. And thank you for the happy 4th of July as well. Graham Humphreys is next and says, I admire the way Americans accept that we English are above them on an evolutionary scale. Oh, Graham. There are a lot of things that England does better than America, but I don't think America is without its positives. So I definitely recommend y'all visiting at the very least if you can. There's lots of positives to it, and I will never say that there aren't. And there are things that I miss. I mean, I think we can all agree that the most positive thing that they've done is creating me. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Don't forget to set your calendars for the live stream on Tuesday, 8 o'clock in the evening, and I hope we get to see you there. Always check out the community page, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next week.